Welcome to another edition of CSBJ Radio. I am your host, Greg Wilson, the owner and publisher of Connections Small Business Journal. You can find us online at www.connectmybusiness.me. Again, that website address is simply www.connectmybusiness.me. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Simply type in the @ Connect My Biz. Again, that's the @ Connect My Biz, BIZZ. You know, if you are like me, I'm an individual who, quite honestly, love to travel. I love going and seeing new places all across the United States. But one thing, I guess you can say, the older that I get, I realize that sometimes, I don't necessarily have to travel all over the United States, that there are local tours, there are local historic sites, there are local venues right here in my backyard. And I'm very fortunate today to be sitting in the room with a gentleman who owns a local tour company right here in the beautiful city of Columbus, Georgia. Victor
Feliciano.
I keep messing that last name up. Feliciano, right?
That's right.
Feliciano. Victor, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for letting me come and be able to talk with you some business.
Yes, sir. And so give us just a little bit of background about you as a small business owner, and definitely let's talk about Vicinity Tours.
Well, as far as a small business owner, this actually is my first true venture in doing small business.
Okay.
I've done, picking here, weekend warriors, different aspects, different ranges of business. Finally put it to rest probably around the late 90s, and went into just a different aspect and more in the employee level. Finally, just come to a point to say, if I'm not going to start now, it's never going to get started.
Right.
But also, in fairness, I was trying to find something that would be the it. What would be it that would motivate me to wake up in the morning and say, all right, this is another good day to be able to run my business.
Right.
And so come upon an opportunity, or actually was looking around the areas and seeing the growth of Columbus, seeing the new things that are getting ready to be coming into Columbus, and finally just come to the conclusion that need a jump now. If not, when it finally gets here, someone's going to realize it's going to come to fruition and beat me to the punch.
Right.
Now, there are other tours locally, but in this aspect, I looking to pursue different ways of doing the tours, and so that's where I went ahead and say, let's go ahead and do it now.
Right.
And so basically, where we at? We're in September, and I got my LLC just in June. So, I mean, this is fresh.
It's fresh.
Birth.
Right. That's progress, though.
And so I'm looking forward to getting some nice fall weather as soon as this hurricane goes through. But great weather here in the autumn. Folks like to go to festivals. Folks like to come in and check it out. Seeing if they're coming from Florida, passing through to see the fall colors and things like that. So a lot of opportunities. Also, of course, Auburn brings folks to Columbus for the ball games. And so a lot of times they'll make it a weekend here, and they can learn a little bit more about Columbus.
Right. So it's very interesting for me, and I love the story, if you will, and we all have a story. The majority of entrepreneurs do, and sometimes we do experience that kick in the pants, they say, hey, it's now or never. So it's very interesting for me to hear you even talk about, getting to that point where you say, you know what, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it now. A lot of people have that. But one thing that you mentioned that really stands out, Victor, is you wanted the it. So let's talk about that just for a moment. how did you know that, starting a tour company in a market that has other tour companies, knowing that that particular business was it was the it factor for you?
I think it's opportunity. I think also circumstances,
right,
and being able to see the scope of what the market is showing, but also it was, I too like going to tours. I enjoy doing tours. I like to teach, and I know that tours are not necessarily teaching, but you're giving information.
Information, that's right.
And with the broadcasting experience and such, basically that's what broadcasting is doing,
right.
is you're providing information.
That's right.
And so now you've got providing information with most of the folks that are coming through have not heard about the history of Columbus or particular spots that we will be featuring. But at the same time, being able to do it in a fun way, so it's not so, structured and,
right.
Lecture type things. It's going to be, hey, they're here, they want to have a good time, and now we can have a good time, but still be able to pinpoint places that would be of interest.
Right.
And so, and then be able to make money out of it, to enjoy doing it. Folks say, you look for something that you enjoy and see about marketing. And of course, anytime you're doing a for-profit business, of course you want to earn monies and be able to succeed in that. But at the same time, allowing just to be able to tell people about the rich history of Columbus and also the rich history of Phenix City.
Right.
And so that's the other thing that I bring to the table, is that I'm doing tours on both sides of the river.
Okay.
And I also encompass Russell County, which a lot of people don't realize that Russell County has a huge history path, especially in the Native American history,
right.
that it has rich history in that. So wanting to present that aspect as well. Partnering with businesses, partnering with other places, like with the Russell County tour, we're partnering with the Fort Mitchell. And so, folks can go to Fort Mitchell, and that's great. But at the same time, I'm able to provide a tour from that travel from Columbus to the fort, which is about 20-minute drive.
Right.
And there's right along Brickyard Road, a lot of history right there.
Wow.
Be able to share with folks.
Wow.
And so that's things that really spurred it to making it was, and I'll give credit to this, give it credit to the folks over at Phenix City, Russell County Visitors Bureau. They actually put together a Phenix City story guide, and there's actually a booklet. And at the moment, I'm able to partner with them and provide that booklet as part of the Phenix City story tour.
Okay.
Well, they can go and get the booklet, and they can do a self-guided tour. But most people, like myself, okay, we read that, but how much more when you can hear things and also hear stories that are not in the booklet.
Right.
And some folks, I'm on vacation. Last thing I want to do is I'm going to read. Now I'm not downing the guide, because the guide is great and it's real wonderful, and it was actually put together by folks that are historians, and it's well presented. And so I approached the Bureau and Lucas Brown. He really encouraged me to pursue this further. So they launched it in April, as far as with the guide, self-guided tour. And so I came to him and I said, you've got the guides and things. What if someone asks and says, we need a tour guide, or we would love to have a tour guide, or you offer, hey, we can get tour guides to provide. Are you interested at a fee? I'm available. So let's see if we can put something together. Right. And from there, I was thinking, okay, well, I don't want to limit myself just to Phenix City. Right. So then I've broadened to downtown Columbus. And so I've got a tour to downtown Columbus. I got a tour. And then I've also expanded beyond that to also do Midtown tours. They do have a self-guided Midtown tour. But if you're driving, it's making it a little bit challenging to stop and read and
exactly.
And not once again not downing it because it's got a lot of good information on there. But how much better, how much comfortable you'll be if you've got someone right there to point you exactly where those places are.
Exactly.
So, but also I've added several more points on all of the established tours. I've put more points of interest through my research to expand and say, okay, well, here's your free tour if you want to do the self-guided tour, but on a vicinity tour, you're going to get 40 to almost 100% more points of interest than what's presented.
Wow.
Not once again, not dogging what's there. If someone's asking what makes vicinity tours different from the other tours,
which by the way, that was my next question.
And that's what I'm saying.
What sets you apart?
Right. And so for vicinity tours, one is we offer walking tours. Mm-hmm. There's not really a walking tour available. There could be one through Historic Foundation, but a lot of times it's on a limited basis. Mm-hmm. But here, and I'm not trying to compare, what I'm going to offer you is on a walking tour, it's up to 2 hours. We do have spots where we'll take stops and take breaks. We'll take break. And we would actually have a nice 2-mile trek. Mm-hmm. That might sound like a lot, but it's really a flat terrain, mostly on sidewalk. You'll hit about 30 points of interest on the walking tour. However, if you go with vicinity tours on a guide on board tour, which guide on board means that I get to ride. I'm riding in your vehicle, mm-hmm. and I'm going to guide you around. Right. We're going to be able to see up to 60 points of interest. Now
on the ride,
the guide on board for the same downtown tour, right? Because we're going to expand the locations because the car, of course, will get around quicker.
Exactly.
And then I say up to 60 because I have the flexibility that if you want more in-depth information about a particular spot, we'll hang out and do that. Right. And this is the beauty about this tour. Some folks may have seen the parody of tours with the South Park and things like that you're almost kind of controlled by someone that's not in your group. Then they may say, "Oh, well, I want to hear more about this," and then everyone's kind of, stuck having to hear that. This is private tours, so I could go at the pace that you want to go, and you say, "Well, just give me the basic boom, boom, boom sightseeing tour." Okay, chances are we're going to see all 60. We stop at a couple spots, I'm not pressuring it, hey, if you want to spend more time at this spot, let's do that. And be able to do that. You may not see as many, but it'll still be more than a walking tour.
Right.
And in the ride-along tour, we'll be hitting the historic district. We'll be hitting the South Commons. There's a lot of rich history in the South Commons, even though right now you look at it and most people just go in there for a ball game or a concert and things like that. Exactly. There's been a lot of things that happen at South Commons that are well worth talking about. We'll hit the Liberty District, and we will hit a good portion of the African American Heritage Trail. Right. And so that will also be encompassed, and it'll actually culminate along the river walk. So we'll talk about the Battle of Columbus or Girard, depends on which side of the river is asking. Exactly. We'll do some highlights of that. Once again, one of the things the other thing is, once again, you got that personal touch, because I will talk with, if you sign up with me, I'll get to talk with you and kind of get a feel of what type of things you want to hear about. Okay. If you're not really into the history, then I'm not going to shove historic things. I'll do more of a sightseeing tour. But if you want more rich of the history, then we'll focus more on that. So there's that personal level with having the numbers that we have.
Okay.
So having said that, that's what the difference is. And the other difference is that I'm available Monday through Saturday, and I already have set tour times, so you don't have to guess as to when I can have a tour. Now, of course, it's just me, and so it's kind of first come, first serve.
Right.
But I have a range of tours that